practice. This is going to be practice session number 4 for the second week, and this is on the U.S. Iran conflict. I chose this topic as I found it very interesting and informative, and it helped me get a better understanding of things, obviously. So, tension with Iran and the U.S. has been there 50 plus years. So, I wanted to get into. First of all, we always knew about conflict with Middle Eastern countries, but specifically with Iran, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know much. But after having to research a bit and learning, I found it quite interesting. So I would like to share some information with you from the CIA openly admitting to helping overthrow Iran's democracy back in 1951, to the Iran hostage crisis, to the Iran Contra affair, to the Ronald Reagan declaring Iran a promoter of terrorism, to us even cutting off ties, diplomatic ties with Iran. So obviously, this is something. And the most important one, I almost forgot. Last year, Soleimani got killed. If y'all remember, now Soleimani was a general for the Iranian military, top guy in there. He got killed, and we all thought World War III was gonna happen. But at least I believe that we all remember about this, but we all kind of forgot about this since COVID hit 2 months after that, at least in the U.S. And ever since that, it's all been COVID on the news. But it's something very real going on in the world, so I wanted to get into it for a little bit and give a brief little background on all this tension and how it affects us. So in 2013, the CIA came out with some documents. They declassified some documents pretty much in 2013, stating that in 1951 they helped overthrow Iran's democracy. Now, pretty much a quick run through. I'll get into it. Iran wanted change. The Iranian people wanted a change. They wanted something new. They had new beliefs. They wanted change, as they had been ran by dictators for the longest. Obviously, for them, this was a good thing. Not very good for the U.S. economic wise, as it would cause, well, pretty much Iran had a very popular Democratic Party and a Democratic leader running for president, and his name was Mohammad Mossadegh. Now, Mossadegh was believed to he was going to win. Now, the U.S. didn't want him to win, as he stated he was going to nationalize all the Iranian or oil and gas industry. By doing this, it would make it harder for the U.S. to compete, for the U.S. to do a lot of stuff. It'll just make it economically harder for the U.S. to get oil and gas, or it would rise up the prices. So this wasn't a good thing for the U.S. So pretty much, they helped the other party, which was Mohammed Pahlavi. How did they help him? By setting up propaganda, and by setting up by bribery pretty much. And he ended up serving 25 years. So when you think about it, um, we helped put a dictator in power right there. Now, another famous thing, or a very important thing in my opinion, was the Iran hostage crisis. Now, pretty much what happened here was Iran's leader had cancer. He came to the USA to receive treatment for cancer. So obviously he did get treatment over here. Now the Iranians were pissed off, as he was supposed to serve trial in court for crimes against humanity, which he was going to eventually. But the Iranians wanted him extradited back to the United States, back to Iran. My bad. They wanted him extradited back to Iran to serve against crimes against humanity, as this guy wasn't a good guy, obviously. Now, pretty much what happened there, a bunch of Iranian students were pissed off, stormed the U.S. Embassy in Iran, and held hostages for 444 days, which is a year and almost 2 months. And what ended up happening is we never ended up extraditing him, and the hostages were just there. So there was a lot of backlash with people right there. And what it did end up happening eventually was the U.S. just cutting all diplomatic ties with Iran, which what that pretty much means is they weren't even gonna talk to or acknowledge Iran at all. Pretty much, they didn't want nothing to do with them no more. Now the Soleimani one, back to that one. How does all these ties? How does it affect us right now? Well, it affects us with the economy. Now, I'm a firm believer that without economy, the world can't be ran correctly, and I do believe that to this day. Well, that's my opinion. Everybody has their opinions, but I do believe it. So, it affected our economy with the oil and gas industry, all the workers. Uh, but especially right here in Texas, right here where we live, southeast Texas, where pretty much there's a lot of oil and gas industry right here in this part of the state. So I do believe it affected us. But obviously with COVID going on and all this stuff and going on in the world, I don't think we forgot about it because it's something that's there. It still exists. It always existed, but it's something that we for sure kind of put we kind of put it to the back of our head, and I will think about it later. But I felt like it was very important, and I found it very interesting, this topic. That's why I chose it, and I hope you learned a little bit about it. So thank you.